شنونده های عزیز برنامه از هر چمن سمنه، السلام علیکم. امید است همه شما عزیزان صحت و سلامت باشین و صحتتان خوب باشه و روزای خوب را با فامیلایتان سپری کرده باشین. من میزبانتان ماری مرزازاده یک بار دیگه از طریق شبکه رادیو آزاد خدمتتان قرار دارم. امروز تاریخ از 19 اکتبر 2014 که مصادف میشه به 24 ذوالحجه سال 1435 هجری و 27 میزان سال 1393 خورشیدی. امیدوار هستیم همه شما عزیزان که می لحظه صدای ما را از طریق شبکه رادیو آزاد میشنوین صحت و سلامت باشین و خوش و سرحال باشین. دوستان عزیز، در بخش اول برنامه قرار بود با خانم هنرمند با سلما جان جهانی صحبت‌های داشته باشیم. کوشش میکنیم که امروزشون به تماس شویم. اگر تماس برقرار نتونستیم مطالب دیگه داریم که خدمتتان تقدیم خواهیم کرد. در بخش دوم برنامه مؤلف کتاب زربل مسلها یا پشتو متلونه آقای ادوارد زلم امرای ما می باشن ساعت 11 به وقت تکساس یا سنترال استندرد تایم که توجه شما را به شنیدن این مصاحبه جلب میکنیم. همچنان در لابلای برنامه کوشش میکنیم متلای پشتو براتان بخوانیم و آهنگای زیبای پشتو خدمتتان تقدیم کنیم. دوستان عزیز، شما میتونین برنامه ما را هر یک شنبه از ساعت 10 صبح الی 12 ظهر با وقت مرکزی در امریکای شمالی از طریق شبکه رادیو آزاد بشنوین. آدرس اینترنتی ما است www.radioazad.us یا رادیو آزاد را میتونین در آیفونتان یا سمارت فونتان عیار کنین و یا اگر سمارت فون در دسترستان نیست و در آمریکا زندگی میکنین لطفاً شماره مجانی 213 493 0222 را دال کنین و از هر قسمت امریکا از هر تلفن میتونین با ما گوش بدین. شماره استودیوی ما است 972 501 9093. حتما تماس بگیرین، آهنگ فرمایشی داشته باشین، حتما خدمتتان پخش میکنیم. همچنان قسمی که شما میفهمین اکتبر در امریکا ماه ضد خشونت فامیلی است. صحبت‌های در رابطه با این تاپیک هم می داشته باشیم که توجهتان به اون بعداً میخواهیم. Dear listeners of Azhar Chaman Samany, Assalamu alaikum. I am your host Mari Mirzazada, coming to you live from the studios of Radio Azad, Voice of the People. We're broadcasting live from Dallas, Texas. We hope you all had a great week and enjoyed it with your families. Today is the 19th of October 2014, equals to the 24th of Zulhaj, the year 1435 Hijri, and the 27th of Mizan, the year 1393 Solar Hijri. And this program, our episode 47th of Azhar Chaman Samany, we have a couple of guests. The first hour, we will try to get in touch with a talented musician, Miss Salma Jahani from California, and we'll talk about her music life, her career, and if we cannot get in touch with her, then we will move on with another topic about domestic violence. The second hour of the program, Mr. Edward Zellem, his latest work, Matalona, which he recently published, is in a Pashto language, and it contains Pashto, Zarbul Masalha, Proverbs, or Matalona, and we will get more information from himself. And also we will be playing some Pashto music. So I hope you stay tuned and enjoy the show with us. Our studio number is 972-501-9393, and please do call us, participate, and it would be great to talk to you guys. دوستای عزیز و شنونده های معزز برنامه از چمن سمنه، قسمی که گفتیم بخش دوم برنامه را اختصاص دادیم با صحبت های با دکروال مستر ادوارد زلم که حتما امروزشان صحبت میکنیم. یک خلاصه براتون میگم که ضرب المثل گونه از بیان است که معمولا تاریخچه و داستان پندآموز در پس بعض از آنها نهفته است. بسیاری از این داستان‌ها از یاد رفتن و پیشینی برخی از مسائل بر بعضی از مردم تا روشنم نیست. با این حال در سخن به کار میره شکل درستی ای واژه را متل میگن یا مثل میگن و ضرب در ابتدای آن اضافه میشه. به بار دیگه ضرب المثل به معنای مثل زدن گفته میشه. فردریک سیلر ضرب المثل را چنین تعریف میکنن، میگن سخنان برجسته، روشن، پندآمیز و مستقلی که در زبان مردم رایج است، ایره ضرب المثل میگن. My beloved listeners, as I was saying to you, the Proverbs are the people's words, the people's choices for words that's very wise. And they usually don't know where it came from, but it's right on point. It carries a very great message to the listener, and Afghans are no exception to this. As a matter of fact, we have a lot of proverbs. Over 5,000 years of history is the witness to these proverbs. And of course we have Pashto, Matalona, we have Dari, Zarbul Masalha. With me on the phone today is a phenomenon, Mr. Edward Zellem, who is absolutely spent a lot of time and dedicated his beautiful life, almost a few years of it, spending in researching, developing, writing, publishing books about the proverbs of Afghanistan. He pioneered even Pashto Matalona, and he collected them. Let's listen to him live. Mr. Zellem.
سلام مرجان، تشکر از مهمان‌نوازیتان و دعوتی از پروگرامتان کنم. هم شنوندگان عزیز سلام علیکم. امیدوار هستم صحتمند و سلامت باشین. So there's my Afghan greeting for your Afghan listeners, but if it's okay, I'd like to do the interview in English because I know a lot of English speakers, non-Dari speakers, will be listening to this interview today.
Absolutely. You know, when Mr. Edward Zellem speaks, I just can't help myself but to just have a big smile on my face, because this man is just a phenomenon. He has done something that I don't think anybody in the history of Afghanistan, any foreigner who actually goes to combat actually gets to write about something very important dear to the Afghan hearts, which is the Afghan Proverbs. Welcome to our program. What a pleasure to have you this morning.
Now, Mehrabani Shamast, you're very kind, Marijan. It's great to be here, and you're exactly right about the importance of Afghan proverbs. And since we last spoke, there are fans of Afghan proverbs now in 79 countries, and Afghan proverbs really are becoming a worldwide phenomenon.
Which is just an outstanding thing to do, and we thank you from the bottom of our heart.
Well, I would answer that with a Dari proverb by Yakgul Bahar Namesha. One flower doesn't bring spring. This all has been an effort involving many people, mostly Afghans, who have contributed Afghan proverbs to my project, and in the new book Matalona, 151 Afghan Pashto proverbs. There's the Pashtuns also have that same proverb, Payagul na pisarle kigi. One flower doesn't bring spring. Very, very important cooperation.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Absolutely. با یک گل بهار نمیشه. چقدر درست گفتن. میگن که کار ما تنها کار من نیست بلکه کار افغانا هم است که حصه گرفتن و ما هر کسی که امرای مستر زلم کمک کرده که کتاب ها را به چاپ برسانن، جمع آوری کنن ضرب المثل را، از همه شما صمیمانه تشکر میکنیم. Well, Mr. Zellem, tell us what prompted you to write Pashto Matalona. Of course, we talked about the Dari Zarbul Masalha or Proverbs. What made you write about Pashto Zarbul Masalha or Proverbs?
Well, it was mostly because people wanted it. You know, as the Dari books became popular, and as you said, they've been translated now into 15 languages. In fact, we'll be publishing the Danish Dari edition very soon. We have a volunteer in Denmark who is almost done translating that book. The books became popular around the world, and so Pashtuns, you know, started saying, "Hey, where's the Dari book, or where's the Pashto book?
Right.
Where are the Pashto proverbs? Matalona are just as important in Afghan society as Zarbul Masalha." So my challenge was, how do I do that since I'm not a Pashto speaker?
Right.
But I was able to figure it out.
Okay. That's amazing. So you had to make it equal to 151 Pashto Matalona as well. When you were in Afghanistan, tell us, did you encounter a lot of Pashto-speaking native Afghans, or was it a lot of Tajiks that you spoke with?
It was absolutely both. I worked in the presidential palace in Afghanistan for over a year. Markazi Hamangi Malumati Riyasati Jamhuri, President Karzai's staff, Shrai Amyati Mali. And so I worked with Pashtuns and Tajiks. And as I said, I was a Dari speaker, and most of the Pashtuns spoke Dari with me. They, you know, most Afghans are bilingual, so especially, you know, in a professional environment. So but I always wanted to learn the Matalona, and so this project gave me the opportunity to do that. Pashtuns from all over the world sent me Matalona, and they were illustrated by a high school in Kabul, and became this new book.
Awesome. Mr. Zellem, the world looks at Afghans as fighters. Just put it in one word, as backwards, as third world people. What do you find interesting in Afghans as a whole?
Well, first of all, I should say that there's nothing wrong with being a fighter. You know, Americans are fighters too.
Yes.
And I think that's one of the things that Afghans have in common, actually, with Americans. You know, we fight for what we believe in.
Yes.
And there are plenty of, you know, Pashto Matalona that reflect the warrior culture of Afghanistan. So I don't think being a fighter is anything to apologize for.
Right.
I do think that Afghans also have a very gentle nature, which is reflected in the poetry, in the Pashtun Landai, poems of very famous poets like Rahman Baba, you know, and of course in the Tajik Dari tradition, you also have, you know, many famous poets like Hafiz and Rumi. Of course, everybody knows Rumi. So
of course.
So it's both. Afghans are warrior poets, really, and I think that's reflected in the Proverbs and in the very colorful way that Afghans speak.
Yes. Well, to us Afghans, we know what we're all about. We're all about the love of our country and the love of our people, and that is why we're fighters and we stand for our rights, regardless of if we're the third world people and we don't have enough army that is equipped with not only knowledge but also equipment, but they're always there to defend our country. And for you to bring a spotlight, a positive light, to tell the world that Afghans are very, very knowledgeable, they're educated, they're wise people, through Zarbul Masalha or Proverbs, it just warms my heart, and I thank you from the bottom of my heart again for this.
Well, that's very kind. Hakaswa Watanas Kashmiras. Everyone's homeland is like Kashmir to them.
Yes.
And in Pashto, we also say, Hartsa Takpal Watan Kashmir Day, and
Yes.
I apologize for my Pashto pronunciation, but...
No, you're good. You're good.
That's the same proverb. Everyone's homeland is like Kashmir to them.
Every time I speak with you, I get more jealous. I'm a native of Dari speaker, and in Afghanistan you have to learn Pashto in order to graduate high school. So we have worked very hard to learn it. Unfortunately, little by little, when you don't speak or conversate a language, it kind of you forget it. Of course, I understand it, but I don't speak it as well. But you said it very well. Dase matal nishta chirishtianawi. There is no proverb which is not true. I don't know if it's in your book. Tell us a few proverbs in Pashto.
Well, one of my favorites is also a favorite in Dari. La zra nabal zra talarshta. Heart to heart there is a way. Dil ba dil raf darad.
Right.
Is the Dari equivalent. There are also, a number of Pashto proverbs that I don't know of equivalents in Dari. Maybe there are. Cheuga nakurai boy te nazi.
Right.
You won't smell like garlic if you don't eat it.
It is so profound, isn't it? Like
very, very profound.
Yes.
And one of the ones that makes me think of Afghanistan a lot. Watan pakalku sheestowe. One's nation is only made beautiful by the people in it.
Absolutely.
And, Afghanistan is a very beautiful country physically, but what really brings Afghanistan its beauty to me is its people and the hearts and souls of the people. And so that proverb is especially meaningful for me.
All right. Have you traveled since these books were published? Have you traveled back to Afghanistan to see the people's reaction? Do they know that you have written books and published them?
I have not physically gone back to Afghanistan yet. I plan to in the next year. But really, Marjan, I feel like I'm in Afghanistan every day, online, virtually.
Absolutely.
On Twitter, I tweet proverbs every day. @Afghan Sayings is my handle. And I have over 3,200 followers. Most of them are in Afghanistan. And so we share proverbs every day, from two different sides of the world.
Right.
The same with Facebook, you see what I do on Facebook and a website, and so I really do feel like I'm in Afghanistan every day, and I continue to ship books over there too to help with Afghan literacy. I'm working with a group in San Francisco right now to deliver 170 books to Ghazni. To a children's reading club and to a widow's reading club in Ghazni. So that's happening right now, actually.
That's amazing. Look at the amount of hard work you do. About 12 years ago, nobody knew where Afghanistan was, especially Americans, let alone where Ghazni is. And now you're shipping books to a literacy group that involves women and children. Go ahead.
That's right, and one of my goals, and I didn't start out to do this, but I'm doing it now. One of my goals is to make Afghan proverbs and Afghan culture and language, cool, and fashionable, in the world, and that's starting to happen. People recognize, the importance of wisdom, no matter what language it's in.
Absolutely.